fine. A lot of people can't get on during the day. Mine's, I think mine thinks I still have 2 screens. I think that's just fine.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's 10 of these. That means there's no, right?
Right, so you want to click on the microphone too.
That's just like,
Click on the team to see Pam.
Okay, I think we'll get ready, get started now. Again, I'm Megan Kimatek with ACT. I'm the Director of Leadership and Awards. And today, the organization, the group at ACT that is officially hosting this call is the Educators in Action group. We're the volunteer group with the association, ACTE. I know some of you have joined due to Kelly's invitation, which is great, and we love having you a part of it. But our volunteer group hosts these calls on a monthly basis, and actually this month we have 2. So I wanted to remind those that are able that we will be also hosting another virtual discussion this upcoming Friday on spreading happiness through positive leadership at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if anyone, whether you're a volunteer or not, is able or interested in attending that call as well, please email me for more information. And if you don't have my email, Kelli Diemer does. Additionally, we also have an Educators in Action blog where we post blog posts related to CTE, and I have more information on that. If you're interested in posting to this blog, contact me. And with that, I would like to welcome Kelli Diemer, who I am so pleased could join us today. I thank you so much, Kelli, for being a part of this important group of volunteers. Kelli Diemer has worked in education for over 30 years. She taught high school business and computer classes at the high school and has now been at the Iowa Department of Education for the past 11 years. She is retiring at the end of June. Kelli is completing her term as the ACT Business Education Division Vice President. So I'm thrilled to introduce and welcome Kelli today. And one last item, I remind everyone, please mute your phones. And if Kelli, if there's interruptions, we can remind people again throughout your presentation to mute their phones. So thank you again, Kelli, and welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan. It is a pleasure to be talking today to the Educators in Action and the guests that have joined us today. I am all about collaboration, and so I was excited to be able to put this project together for the state of Iowa. And I think that it's, I think as you will see through this presentation, that it came out with a pretty positive result. So I'm excited to be able to share this and hopefully allow you to get some ideas from it. So to start at the beginning of the story was when Iowa passed the House File 2392 for the CT redesign. We really needed to take a much closer look at high quality programs, CT programs. This definition came along with raising expectations for CT programs, getting some additional employer engagement, aligning with high demand areas, setting a vision for that curriculum, start foundational that leads into occupational specific college credit opportunities, integrate much more work-based learning, and align with a modernized career cluster framework. So that was a big pull for us in Iowa. And through that, we really needed to take a look at what we were doing with career and technical education. And the one thing that came clear was the fact that we in Iowa have never officially approved career and technical education programs at the secondary, at the high schools. While many other states do, it just isn't something that we had ever done in the state. So with that, we put in place, we started the process of putting together a CTE program approval process. So that self-study, we called it, was made up of 7 different sections. Each of these sections came along with requesting the teachers and the school districts to upload evidence to prove what they were doing for student assessment, advisory councils, partnerships, and working with stakeholders, etc. So a lot of work from our teachers went into this, and developing and putting together the right evidence in order to support their self-assessment. But it also made clear, both from the field and internally in the Department of Ed, that across all of career and technical education, we needed to do a lot more work helping our districts see what exactly a quality program was. So just to move forward just a little bit more with this, was the process we undertook was, first off, that reflection through that self-evaluation, asking our districts to upload the evidence, document what it was that they were doing, and compare themselves with some criteria while putting together some action plans for moving forward. With that, then we asked the regional planning partnerships, which make up our state, to take a look at what was going on in career and technical education across their region, and get a better idea of where the gaps were and where the strengths were, so that they could help with professional development in that. After that review, the documents came into the Department of Ed, and internally we reviewed those, put comments down, and prepared to return these back to the schools. It came, again, through discussions both internal and external in Iowa, was the discussion of now what. The idea was we return these forms, we ask them to move forward with their action plans, evaluate themselves for their effectiveness, continue to do the work forward with the process. But in reality, it's an every 5-year evaluation if it was done to the best of their evidence. So the now what is, we didn't want to go to all this and then have nothing happen in the meantime. We wanted our schools and our teachers to continue to work forward. So having said that, what was going on at the same time was I had put together a request to attend what's called a leadership forum through MBA Research. MBA Research holds these leadership forums about every 2 years, and it's limited to certain states. And what you're able to do is bring a team of teachers, sit down, take a look at what's going on at your state, build a strategic plan for effective CTE programs and business education programs, and how to move the needle forward. What gaps, every single state has different issues. And with the team that I took, I was very excited that we did make some good progress in putting a plan together. Our team included the president-elect of the Iowa Business Education Association, a marketing teacher that has had a very successful program and also work-based learning, and then a post-secondary community college instructor that could also help remind us of that very important linkage that we needed to have with the post-secondary. So again, what was going on in our local schools was this program review, and then this independent team was coming together and taking a look at Iowa as a whole and what needed to be done. From this leadership forum, developed the idea of this, what they like to call the Sensational Professional Development Equality Programs. They called it sensational because it was in fact in June, and even though we were inside for the full day, they wanted the teachers to think like they were on summer break. So from 9 to 3, we planned this for just last Monday, June 17th. What you're seeing here is the group of facilitators we knew that if we did this to be successful, we needed to make sure that everybody understood the goals of the day, and move us forward carefully, because giving the day was mostly going to be made up of 4 breakout discussions. We needed facilitators that understood where this discussion needed to go and help direct the conversation so that the teachers could get the most out of those breakout discussions as possible. From that, then we did a data collection and a best practice sharing. So I'll break this down now with how we went. First off, I just need to say, overall, the goal of the day was for teachers to understand the components of the quality program, learn of resources that were available to them, share successes and struggles within each of those 4 breakouts, and collaborate as a community of best practice. So this was the diagram that we used in Iowa, and the 4 components were secondary and post-secondary partnerships, stakeholder engagement, problem, project, and work-based learning, effective teaching and effective teaching and learning. So let me describe how this went. During these different breakout discussions, the discussion on effective teaching and learning went that it ensured that your program integrates Iowa core standards, they're aligned to the post-secondary program as well as industry, that the components ensure that formative and summative assessments are used, industry validated certifications could be used, integrated with the program assessments to cover knowledge on employability skills as well as technical, and that the CT teachers are staying up to date with industry knowledge, professional development, they join professional organizations, and they are able and are encouraged to collaborate with program teachers. So during this hour, 45 minutes of it was spent just about discussions amongst the teachers. So there was about 20 teachers in each of these sessions, a little more, 2 facilitators to help direct the conversation, and they just took turns just plain collaborating and sharing on what was working, what wasn't working in relation to effective teaching and learning. Again, we had 4 breakouts. So this one was about problem, project, and work-based learning. And this topic included things like that multiple grade appropriate learning opportunities were used, and it included an integration of current technical student organizations, because we believe that those are very important. Procedures are in place to address students' access criteria for proper selection of quality experiences, that there's appropriate orientation for worksite supervision, career guidance, to ensure that parents and guardians are provided accurate and timely information, and that there is a good structure in place for work-based opportunities. So again, an hour session, 45 minutes of it was spent just having the discussion with fellow teachers. I have two more of these breakouts. So the 3rd breakout was stakeholder engagement. And stakeholder engagement, we needed to get the group to understand that stakeholders are much more than just your advisory committee. Stakeholders can be Chamber of Commerce, it can be your nonprofits, it can be your administration at your school, it can be your middle school, it can be obviously it's your students and your parents and all those. So we really work to have a discussion about how do you engage all of these people into making your program even better. So 45-minute discussion with a group. And the final breakout was secondary and post-secondary partnerships. So we have some of the most of the concurrent enrollment or dual enrollment in the state of Iowa with our secondary and post-secondary colleges, but in some cases it's not available for teachers to offer because of credentialing or because of location or programs offered. So it was work with the facilitators to encourage them to not get stuck on what they can't do because of those kinds of barriers, but to look at other ways that secondary and post-secondary should be partnering. For example, getting a better understanding of what the community college programs are, and inviting the community college people into your classroom to understand better what your programs are and where your gaps are, and sharing the resources that you have available. I mean, there's just a wide variety. So the discussion went very successful around how to build secondary and post-secondary partnerships. So again, some of them were even smiling, happy. So what you need to be, I need to make sure that I'm clear when I describe this day to you, is the fact that every single one of these teaching participants had a name tag with 4 colored half circles on them. These were in a variety of different order. And as you can see, effective teaching and learning would be blue, problem and project would be red, stakeholder engagement green, and post-secondary partnerships was yellow. So you went in the order of your colors, which meant that your group didn't always stay together. You had a different group each and every time you went to a different session, and you heard from different people about what they had going with that particular topic. I'm going to pause here for a minute. Anybody have any questions? Am I describing it clear so far? Okay. So as I said, there was also data collection, because the value of the immediate feedback from your peers is obviously very, very positive. But we also wanted something as a resource, a data collection resource for our teachers after the fact. So as I described, for each of these 4 sessions, the first 45 minutes of the 60 minutes was no computer, just a discussion about what was going on in their different schools, their different districts, their different classes, and how they were meeting these 4 different topics. So at the last 10 minutes, they would log into a Google Doc. Each and every time they would type in their first name, their last name, their school district, and their email. And then they were required, in order to get the stipend for the day, to either put in a strength in that particular area or an area I need assistance, which we call the struggle. They could put something in both boxes, but they had to put one in one or the other. They were also, it was explained very carefully to them that all this information for their strengths and their struggles was going to be shared with all business teachers across the state. So we need to be very upfront with that, because this will be a document that should be a very valuable resource. At the bottom of each session, we wanted to know if there was relevant information shared, if everyone had an opportunity to share, and if the discussion actually stayed on the topic. So we collected this from every single breakout discussion session to collect this data. So here's an example, just a small example of some of the strengths that we pulled from here. People commented, and again, we worked with the facilitators to make sure they didn't say a strength was an advisory council, or their strength was teaching accounting. We wanted a strength described enough so that someone could get an understanding about it well enough so that they could reach out to that person to get some additional help with that. So you can read through, I think you can see those, okay, to be able to read some of the strengths that was recorded. And again, just we had about 75 teachers in 4 different sessions. So we had, we've got quite a number of strengths that were recorded in this activity. Here's an example of what we called struggles, or areas you need for improvement. And again, I'll just let you look those over, and that's a very, very small sampling of what we saw for what teachers are needing help with. I firmly believe one of the reasons we were getting such good, honest feedback was it came after a discussion with the group. So they heard from other teachers sitting in the room how they had struggles also. They had a better understanding of what others had strengths in. So when they documented their either strengths or struggles, they felt like they weren't alone. They weren't the only one who didn't have a fully staffed advisory committee, or they were one that didn't, they weren't the only one who didn't use industry certifications. So if you ask a teacher just to fill out this survey alone without that discussion piece, I don't think you would have gotten the we would have gotten the honest answers that we did through this process of 45 minutes discussion, 10 minutes doing the entry. I tried to make this so you could read it, but it's a little bit difficult. But if you can see, this is a spreadsheet that all this information went into. So there's 4 different tabs at the bottom: stakeholder engagement, secondary, post-secondary partnerships, project, problem, work-based learning, and effective teaching and learning. So what this did was it pulled from all those Google forms that everybody filled out during this Sensational Day and put the person's name, their school district, their email, and then within that topic, either a strength and or a struggle, so that all this information's available to all the business teachers. So if they want to have if they want more help with stakeholder engagement, they can see that Ashley's school does a lot with a social media page, and so they can reach out to Ashley to get some assistance with that. The thing I firmly believe is, you know, teachers desperately want help and they want assistance to do better and to continue to improve, but they also know what it is that they need help with. So by giving them these resources, you know, you're empowering them to reach out and get assistance. Here is another one more screenshot of this. So you can see 2 teachers here listed. There's like 75 teachers listed on each of these pages, with, again, either a strength or a struggle. In this case, they filled out both the strength and a struggle. And so it was, the facilitators that day did a really nice job of encouraging our teachers to be honest with their concerns or their strengths and be proud of them, and share those with everybody else that was in the room, or everybody else across the state, honestly. So pause again, let you try to read a little bit. I apologize, this is small, but I wanted to show how this looked. And we haven't sent it out to all the teachers yet, but we will before I leave. Is there some comments or questions? As I had said in the opening, or as it said in the description, I think what I would have done differently with this activity is try to promote it even more with our teachers. We ended up with almost 100 people there. I did invite administrators and curriculum directors, and even other CTE teachers, but only the secondary business teachers got the stipend. And the stipend, they only got a stipend if they stayed the entire day. and they had to check out with me at the end, and that they filled out the forms as needed with a strength or a struggle. And, you know, lastly, actually participate in the day, which I think I would say we were very successful with, that everybody, I kind of drilled it home a couple times, but everybody understood the requirements of it, that we couldn't have people leaving early and then get the stipend for the activity. So what I believe will happen is, now that we've done one of these, I think there will be more CTE areas that will want to do something similar to this, because it's just so powerful to allow teachers to share with each other. Finally, I'd like to share with you the end of the day evaluation and what we're looking at here. So first off, the dark blue, that's the longest line, that is the excellent coding. The yellow is the very good, and these are marked with percentages. The light blue is satisfactory, and the gray is fair, and nobody marked poor at all. So I would recommend continuing this type of professional development in the future. If you look at excellent was a little over 60%. If you added that plus the very good, you're looking at just almost 90%. Or a little, yeah, just about 90% of the teachers thought it was a very good day. Wanted to do it, wanted us to continue to do something like this in the future. So I think that speaks pretty highly. The second one was, I believe this day was beneficial to my improving my program. Again, you know, between the excellent and the very good, we did very well that day. So looking at the positive of the fact that if you connected with other business teachers, we were hoping. So that question was, I connected with new business teachers that I will be collaborating with in the future. Not quite as high a percentage, but you know, they were randomized with a new group of people each and every time they went to a new session, and everybody was encouraged to do some sharing. So that's about the best I can do, encouraging them to connect with each other. And then finally, I gained a lot of new ideas from the discussions today. You know, I will say that I popped into some sessions where there was a few business teachers that tried to overtake the conversation and kind of get on a negative role, or they went on and on about something positive because they were so very excited. And so it's not an easy job facilitating, and especially not easy job facilitating teachers. But again, with our the professional development, the training we did with the facilitators at the start of this, helping them understand the expectations of a good answer, of keeping the conversation going, I think was really beneficial in making this day successful. So I am very proud of our end of day evaluation. We certainly have a lot of blue and yellow, and that of course is that excellent and very good rating. So it was not without the help of, first off, that professional development, the leadership forum group that went to MBA research and got the plan put together. It wasn't without some very, very highly skilled and qualified facilitators that kept these conversations going. And it was because of a good group of educators that came for the right reasons and saw the importance of collaborating to make all of our CTE programs better. So it was a very, very good day, even if it was a beautiful sunny June day right after many of the teachers had just gotten out of class. So I see that I talk fast, so it is 3 o'clock. So we still have plenty of time for questions or comments. Is there any of you that have done, purposeful collaboration with their professional development, either similar to this or different, but based around collaboration, or participate in something like this? as I had said before, our day did start at 9 a.m. The first hour, we welcomed everybody. We made sure that expectations were very clear on what we needed, for data and for information and a sharing, an era of collaboration. We reviewed the standards and why, it was important of what we did. We talked about the self-evaluation tool, which, truly was pretty apprehensive for many people because we've never done program approval before. So, giving them some more assurance about that. And then we tied this entire thing of building on quality programs back to Perkins 5 and why this is coming. This is something that we should always be doing, but it certainly is something we need to be doing when we're looking at developing our plan for Perkins 5 for our state. Over lunch, and yes, I did feed them over lunch. We gave the teachers a lot of resources and links to more curriculum and more websites and free resources and et cetera, so that they had that opportunity. Our IBEA president-elect had an opportunity to talk about the upcoming conference for the all the business teachers and what to look forward to that, and hopefully we continue an era of the importance of professional development. And then finally we just had teachers that kept staying even though the day got done, because they had just gotten to doing such quality networking with each other. But the day closed out with everybody signing out of the day, having completed the full 9 to 3. We collected all the data from them and are looking forward to formatting it and sending it back out to them so that everybody can see and have resources available to them for strengths and struggles. So. Megan?
Yep. Kelly, I was just giving everyone a final minute to chime in, but I will take over. Kelly, thank you so much for presenting to this group. Like I said, we will be posting this great presentation online. We'll be highlighting it to all our educators in action, which is 300 plus group of volunteers. So we will be sharing this to a widespread audience. So we really appreciate your time and efforts and what you did here for your community. It's wonderful, and your hard work. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you with your passion through to CPE. On that note, I want to remind everybody that on Friday we will have another virtual discussion. I encourage you all to attend on spreading happiness through positive leadership. And if you would like to get more involved with our blog, which we highly encourage you to, please contact me directly. Thank you again, Kelly. We appreciate your time and effort. And thank you to everybody who was able to join this virtual discussion today. And that's all I had for today. So thank you all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Nice job.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you.